Greetings there. My name is Joseph. I am the science teacher here at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School. I've been here at the school for a long time. I've used to be a student here once upon a time. I went to, left the school back in 2010, age of 16. I went off to university, came back 2 years ago, and I started teaching at the school from that time. So I've been a teacher ever since for the last couple of years here at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School.
And what should I look for the future for the school?
For the future of the school, I want it to grow in the way in which it has recently. So the school caters right now for English, Black History, Science, Maths and Coding. Coding is a recent addition to the school. That's been very important. So our core subjects in Science, English and Maths are extremely important for the young people. Now, the reason why that's important is those are what we call the foundation subjects. So when they're at their mainstream school Monday to Friday, these are the key subjects. They need to be very good at maths. They need to be very good at science. They need to be very good at English. This is very, very important. So we give them that extra help in those subjects, particularly the older students, the ones that are doing their GCSEs age 15, 16. What we particularly encourage on a weekly basis is that they bring in exam papers. They bring in any particular resources that they're particularly struggling in so that we can sort of really focus in on that. I do that with all of my science students and I have done over the last year because it's very important. We follow the national curriculum here at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School, exactly how they do it in mainstream school as well. But what I always try to do is that I want to particularly focus in on the areas which the young people have their weaknesses in. And that's what's very, very important. The reason why I do that is I remember back in year 11, my own self, almost 10 years ago, when I used to come here, I used to bring in my maths and science papers. And it was because of that help that I got at that time, which allowed me to get onto a good college and also get onto a good university to end up studying biomedical science. And one of the main reasons for that was the help in which I got. Now, that's what we want for the young people, to aspire to be whatever it is that they want to be. So in terms of the future of the school, I want it to grow, I want it to develop, we want to get more students, we want to get more volunteers on board so that we can help out the next generation. That's what we want the school to grow. And if possible, maybe one day, my ultimate aim is actually for us to have this all week, as in a 5-day normal mainstream full-time school. Mm-hmm. So that's the aim, 10 years time, that would be my ultimate aim for the Saturday School.
And what's the address of the school? Where can we find the school?
So the school is based in Tulse Hill. It's at NABSS Park, SW2. So the buses which come around here is the number 2, the number 432 and the number 415. NABSS Park is the road. And it's based in Tulse Hill and it's at the St. Martin's Community Centre. So please, if you are a prospective student, if you're a prospective adult with young people between the ages of 5 to 16, those are the ages we cater for. There's class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 4. We split the classes into age groups, 5 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13 and also 14 to 16. And we want more young children to be joining in order for us to help them with their education so that they can focus in on their future and to be able to help out the community, and that's what it's about.
Beautiful.
I am Tiiwe Kumalo. I am at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School. I felt compelled personally to come and give an input into the children and give them the way I saw black children should move forward in a society like this one.
Okay, and what do you do here at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School? What do you do?
My specialist area is English, so I work with class 1. I teach them about how to use the verb. I'm interested in using the English language and how to use the verb effectively, how to spell, how to read.
Okay, and what age groups do you do? Do you do all the age groups?
Well, since I've been here, I moved from group to group. To start with, I was assistant to Sister Lydia when she was doing class 2. Yeah, we moved up the ages.
So do you work together?
Presently, I am with the Barry.
Okay.
Brother Barry.
Okay. And why do you feel there's still a need for a black Saturday school? Why do we need them still?
I wouldn't actually emphasize it in that way, but I would like to say we, perhaps as parents in a school like this one, we need to guide these children so that they have a purpose, they know where they are going. And I have been sitting in assembly. There has been some thinking which I have taken myself and applied in my everyday life. Mm-hmm. Once I had the teacher up front there in assembly saying, do not allow anybody to dim your life, or to dim your light, mm-hmm. the light that surrounds you, the brightness that you have. And that gave me, mature as I am, a lot of confidence.
Beautiful.
And today, again, I was in assembly and I had the teacher up front emphasizing, do not be a copy of a person next to you. Be what you are. Mm. And that gives you confidence, that gives you the courage to move on, that gives you the ability to cope in a competitive society. To know who you are, to be proud of who you are.
So even though you're coming to the Afruika Bantu Saturday School to teach and inspire the children, you're also getting inspiration for yourself.
Certainly, and that's what it should be, because it's wholesome, it's for the whole person, and the philosophy we give to the children should not be something which does not apply to us.
Beautiful.
And actually I was going to talk to the teacher from whom I heard all this.
Well done. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Greetings. Again, my name is Tamani Joseph. 24 years old. I'm a member of the Afruika Bantu Saturday School, and we've been running since 1997. Again, the subjects in which we offer here at the Saturday School are English, Maths, Science, Coding and Black History. I wanted to do a particular mention of Black history or African history, as it's something which is extremely important. One of the reasons in which we offer African history here at the Afruika Bantu Saturday School is so that children, so that our young people, our young students are aware of their rich and glorious history. They are aware that their history is more than just slavery and Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King is an extremely important historical figure, and it's important that we learn, but there's much more of our history that we need to be aware of. We also want our young people to be aware of the glorious history of Africa, their great culture, their great heritage. We also want them to be aware of Black British history as well, which is important as well. They need to be aware of issues of, say, police brutality that happened, for example, in the 1980s when Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister. We had the uprisings in Brixton, the uprisings in Tottenham in 1985, or in Handsworth in Birmingham, or in Moss Side in Manchester in 1985. They need to be aware of this history. So they need to be aware about all aspects of their African history, and that's something where they don't learn about in school. And that's something which is extremely important for our young people to build up their confidence. One of the great things about the Saturday School is that when we have important events, whether that be Kwanzaa, whether that be Black History Month events, whether that be events to commemorate Malcolm X, whether that's to commemorate the great Marcus Garvey, is that it allows the young people to sort of go on stage to deliver speeches and presentations to tens and hundreds of people, and it gives them that confidence. And that's something which I have benefited from when I was once a student. And so this is one of the reasons that Black history is so important. We've seen that with some of the events that even have come out this year about the Windrush. We've seen why it's important that our young people are aware of why their history is so important. So again, Black history here at the Saturday School is just something which is extremely important, something which we focus on greatly.